Elon cares a tremendous amount about free speech. He uses free speech, and he thinks Twitter should be a platform for free speech. And he felt so strongly about that, he had to sell millions of shares to buy it. And so what he's saying is that I'm willing to sacrifice personal and economic gains in order to protect my own personal beliefs that I believe so heartedly in.
What I was most excited about from last night was all the talk around autonomy. You know, Elon said he thinks this will be the greatest asset unlock in human history. And I'd agree. You know, we've modeled that autonomous driving could add an additional $26 trillion to GDP in the next 10 years. It's going to totally change Tesla's business model, and we're excited for it.
Free speech and autonomy, two of my favorite things. In this video, some thoughts and comments following Tesla's annual shareholder meeting and the subsequent interview in which Elon Musk once again used his testicles instead of being a coward. By the way, just dropped a video on Patreon, a public service announcement to all the men watching. Please locate your testicles and use them. If you're a member on Patreon, you'll know where to find it. And if not, you can join Patreon with the link in the pinned comment.
What I was most excited about from last night was all the talk around autonomy. You know, Elon said he thinks this will be the greatest asset unlock in human history. And I'd agree. You know, we've modeled that autonomous driving could add an additional $26 trillion to GDP in the next 10 years. It's going to totally change Tesla's business model, and we're excited for it.
So just imagine it was a few decades ago. Some crazy lunatics out there were publishing research saying with computers and the improvement with telecommunications, soon we'll have this magical thing where all the computers in the world can talk to one another and people can access information, videos, music, files, text, you name it. Basically, the sum of human knowledge and creative output in an instant, anywhere. And that this would unlock a truly staggering multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. And everyone said, "Hi, you're high, that's never going to happen." Next minute, most of the world's largest companies are all internet-based companies. You may be familiar with a couple of them, such as Google, Amazon, Netflix. I could go on for days. This is going to be one of those same types of situations. The difference between that hypothetical situation and what we're hearing from ARK Invest regarding autonomy is ARK Invest's comments around autonomy aren't hypothetical. They will seem rather prophetic in the course of time. Now, nobody knows exactly when the first generalized robotaxis will begin operating anywhere on Earth, but it will happen. My best guess still remains late 2024 for a Tesla-operated robotaxi doing its first paid fare somewhere on Earth. The point isn't so much about the precise timing. The point, instead, is the magnitude of the opportunity and how dramatically it will change our daily lives. The research from ARK Invest, as Tasha mentions, over the next 10 years, a $26 trillion opportunity. That's trillion with a T, not billion with a B. This is fucking gigantic. And I understand the skepticism from many investors out there. Well, until it happens, it doesn't exist. The reason that I continue to underscore this very important point is that the majority of investors today, if it's not already happening, it doesn't exist, therefore let's ignore it. There are so many skeptics out there who don't think that Tesla will solve autonomy or that it'll be decades away or even worse. They don't understand the distinction between Tesla's generalized solution and literally every other company on the fucking planet trying to develop their own autonomous vehicles, but not generalized autonomy. Specific, narrow, handheld autonomy, pre-map in HD. Oh, roadworks, they weren't there when he scanned it in HD. Help. Vehicle just stops, needs a human driver to take over. And I do understand the skepticism from people who don't understand neural networks, don't understand artificial intelligence. That's most people. I'm not trying to be obnoxious here. These are just the facts. It's a very deep rabbit hole. So I get that some people are ignoring this, but I will be here in a few years' time, and these videos will still be floating around all the way back to 2019 when I was talking about autonomy and the potential, how it changed things. And in totally unrelated matters, I just so happen to still be buying Tesla stock hand over fist with every spare cent. It's definitely got nothing to do with the fact that I'm looking into the future rather than right now. I'm seeing Tesla solving autonomy in a generalized way and having an unassailable lead here. I'm seeing and recognizing the financial impact. Hence why Tesla stock to me still looks like the best risk-adjusted opportunity, at least that I'm aware of in the stock market. Now, whether or not autonomy happens tomorrow, next week, 5 years from now, the scale of the opportunity and the way it's going to shape and change our daily lives, the magnitude of this shift, this disruption, cannot be overstated. In short, don't sleep on autonomy. This is just one of those moments where I'm just like, do people not see what I'm saying? Do you guys not understand what's right around the corner and the impact? Many folks on Wall Street, until it happens, it doesn't exist. But I'm of the opinion that investing is really about seeing opportunities before they've been fully realized. Because the gap between that's never going to happen or that might happen or I don't know versus, oh, it happened, holy shit, they actually did it, is known as opportunity.
I want to get into your 5-year forecast, but let's react to the other announcements, which is JB Straubel being added to the board.
The addition of JB Straubel to Tesla's board of directors is epic. JB is a Tesla co-founder. He has a huge brain. He's currently operating Redwood Materials, a battery recycling company. I think he brings more to Tesla's board of directors than anyone else does.
And also, you know, the comments from Elon Musk about his focus on Tesla remaining as CEO, particularly to get the company through its next focus on artificial intelligence. What did you make of that, Tasha?
Yeah, you know, I think JB Straubel is a great addition to the board, right? You know, right now he's working with his own company on battery cycling. We know that's crucial to scale the battery industry as a whole. They're seeing great efficiency, I think over 90% in recycling. You know, we've always thought that it's important for Elon to stay on as CEO as they reach full autonomy again, because we think that this is the next greatest milestone for Tesla and, you know, arguably, you know, any automaker out there. This is what they really should be going for. So we think that autonomous driving or autonomous ride hail, which is how we expect it to play out, will constitute roughly 2/3 of Tesla's enterprise value in the next 5 years. So this is huge. Tesla has an enormous data advantage, and you know, you shouldn't miss it.
So obviously you should ignore everything Tasha just said because autonomy, that's not a big deal. Tesla doesn't have an unassailable lead. They don't have all the data. And if you disagree with me, you must be observing reality. How dare you? You guys have no idea how much I'm looking forward to revisiting these videos. When I'm banging the drum, hello, they're around autonomy is just around the corner. Hello, unassailable data lead. Hello, the fleet. Hello, no one else is close. Hello, generalized solution. Outside of this little bubble, there are very few people, I think, who understand Tesla is on the cusp of solving autonomy with a generalized solution. And people just don't get the implications. Just one of those things, again, refer to my internet analogy. It's just unfathomable the amount of change this will make to people's daily lives. And as a result, the amount of value that will accrue to any company who happens to be operating many of these autonomous vehicles.
Investors or shareholders rejected a proposal for Tesla to publish a key person risk report. And Tesla's argument was, well, if we put all of our talent in the shop window, our competitors will try and take them. But do you still have a key man risk concern around Elon Musk? I guess, you know, a new CEO at Twitter goes some way to allaying those concerns.
Yeah, you know, I think there's a lot of focus on this question. What I broadly say is I'd be a lot more concerned if he said he was stepping away from Tesla, right? Again, I think he's crucial to cross that autonomy finish line. You know, autonomous driving lowers the cost per mile of ride hail significantly, invites a lot of people that are not currently in the ride hail market into it. You know, it's going to be a multi-trillion-dollar industry over the next 5 years.
Now, is it just me? Does anyone else get the impression that Tasha, Keeney and ARK Invest strongly believe that autonomy is going to be a gigantic opportunity, that Tesla is on the cusp of solving autonomy, and that's why Tasha keeps banging the drum, hello, autonomy, autonomy, autonomy. It's almost as if Tasha really wants to bring the conversation back to the thing that matters the most, which is the autonomous opportunity that everyone is ignoring. But is Elon distracted? I mean, again, I totally get it, Ed's point of view. He wants some talking points, but no one seems to really want to dig deeper. It's almost as if as soon as the word trillion or trillions comes out of the mouth of Tasha, just people glaze over and it just goes straight. They don't even, what? I didn't hear that. That's not a, it's just weird. No one seems to want to dive deeper into this opportunity. It's like I said, can't wait to revisit these videos in a few years.
So, you know, and on Elon's time, you know, we've heard this question come up so many times over the past 5 years. I mean, Tesla, SpaceX, you know, he was one of the founders of OpenAI. He's clearly demonstrated that he can juggle a lot of tasks, and ultimately we're just focused on his execution, right? And I think given that Tesla has the best, you know, cost relative to performance of any electric vehicle maker out there, you know, he's already proved sort of that he can juggle multiple things and succeed at it.
There was a demonstration of progress, apparent progress in Optimus, the humanoid bot. When you saw that, did it give you any feeling that they are making progress in the field of AI, in that use case at least?
Yes, I think Optimus is really interesting. So it's definitely out of our 5-year forecasting window. You know, our price target for Tesla is that our expected value is roughly $2,000 per share in 2027. That actually doesn't include Optimus, because I think that, you know, by the time it's a meaningful contributor, again, it could be further into the future.
Definitely agree. I've said this a million times in the past. I think Tesla's bot will have some impact toward the end of this decade, but the meaningful impact from Tesla's humanoid robot begins in the 2030s and really amps up in the 2040s and beyond.
But I think the important thing to look at here is, why Tesla? Why a humanoid robot? Well, given that they have this massive data advantage from autonomous driving, they have millions of cars on the road. They're collecting over 1 million. They have over 1 million miles driven in FSD daily, which they can then pull data from. That's an order of magnitude more than competitors.
Fancy that. Once again, Tasha reminding the world, at least those who are listening, that Tesla has a huge data advantage when it comes to autonomy. And I'm sure Tasha is about to explain how what Tesla's learning with their vehicles will transfer into their humanoid robot, giving them another unassailable lead in intelligent, capable humanoid robots.
So I think this sets them up well to basically create robots that move through the physical world. And the autonomous car will be the first version of that. But they can, port that knowledge over into other robots. And I think the Optimus robot is a good example. We talk a lot at ARC about backwards integration. I think the fact that this is a humanoid robot and it can move through spaces that were already built for humans is big. And I think this, in the future, could be a major productivity enhancer. Like all AI, we'll see, non-market labor activity turn into market labor activity. And I think the productivity of the individual worker will ultimately increase because of this. So we're excited about it.
So your 2027 call is $2,000 per share, which I'll give you an opportunity to explain. But the question is, did anything in that presentation or in the interview with CNBC afterwards move the needle for you guys, change the course of where you see this company going?
Now, before Tasha answers this question, I'm going to pretend that Ed asked me and respond. No, nothing's changed. We didn't really learn anything new. There's a few key insights, some tangible numbers, but nothing particularly surprising or that changes the overall outlook. Over to you, Tasha.
Yeah, I think, again, since we're so focused on the long-term horizon, that 5-year view, I would stick to that $2,000 per share estimate that we put out.
So don't want to point out the obvious here, but I'm going to point out the obvious here. 2027 is 4 years away. I'm currently recording this in 2023. And $2,000 per share is more than a 10x from where Tesla stock is today. 4 years, more than a 10x. Now, ARC could be wrong. In fact, they will be wrong. The question is, how wrong will they be and in which direction? But their estimate for Tesla's valuation in 2027 of $2,000 per share is driven about 2/3 of that valuation coming from autonomy, which most investors, most on Wall Street, are almost entirely or are entirely ignoring. Can you hear that? That's me banging the table on autonomy. Again, don't sleep on it.
And, I think, again, what I'm more looking forward to is everyone else realizing the opportunity in autonomous driving.
You can't make this shit up. I didn't watch this clip before. I never do. I just react in real time. How many times has Tasha been like, yeah, okay, cool question, bro, but hello, autonomy. Everyone's ignoring autonomy. It's almost as if Tasha Keeney really wants people to be aware of the opportunity that is clearly playing out right now that everyone is ignoring. Makes two of us, Tasha.
Because I actually think that Tesla does not get enough questions about this opportunity, given how monumental it will be.
Again, called it. I mean, she really desperately wants people to understand this, people to be asking more questions about autonomy. Again, Ed's here. Is Elon distracted? And look, I'm not being hard on Ed here, okay? It's his job to ask annoying questions that have got nothing to do with anything and miss the bigger picture. I think that's his job, isn't it? He's doing his best. If people understood the implications of autonomy and actually believed, they would be asking a lot more questions, but they're not. And Tasha makes a great point here. Given that, in my opinion, and the opinion of ARK Invest, autonomy will be worth more than Tesla is today by multiple times and contribute a significant portion of Tesla's overall market cap in the future. This is a disruption the likes of which we have never seen before. It does puzzle me why so few people want to dig deeper into the details around autonomy, Tesla's strategy, their progress, and so on.
So I was glad that we heard Elon talk about that last night, again, because I think that most don't truly understand how big of a productivity unlock and a cash flow unlock it will be, because we think autonomous ride hail could have software-like margins. And we heard affirmation of that last night. So again, it's a recurring revenue stream, software-like margins. So, it's up to, let's say, roughly $10,000 in cash flow per car per year. I mean, that's unheard of. And no other traditional automaker is, close to the data advantage that Tesla has, at least. So they're in a major pole position there.
So just to recap there, I'm pretty sure ARK Invest aren't very excited about autonomy. They don't think it's a big opportunity. Tesla definitely isn't in a lead, and therefore investors should totally ignore what Tesla's about to do because it's not really meaningful, especially as it relates to Tesla's future market cap and cash flows. And now, if you'll indulge me for a moment, we're going to talk about Elon Musk's gigantic testicles. At least gigantic relative to yours. Kind of like his brain.
All right, joining us now, Tesla shareholder Bryn Talkington of Requisite Capital Management, also a CNBC contributor. It's good to see you. So Musk makes it clear to David that he doesn't care. Do you care?
Well, I mean, I've seen the movie. I think David missed the point. I think viewers. So what he was saying, because in the movie, it's all about staying convicted to one's personal beliefs. And I think that, as we've all seen, Elon cares a tremendous amount about free speech. He uses free speech, and he thinks Twitter should be a platform for free speech. And he felt so strongly about that, he had to sell millions of shares to buy it. And so what he's saying is that I'm willing to sacrifice personal and economic gains in order to protect my own personal beliefs that I believe so heartily in.
So I'm pretty sure what she just said is Elon Musk has a pair of testicles. And not only does he have a pair of testicles, but he would like to continue using them. So he will. The end. If this bothers you as a Tesla shareholder, it's quite clear you don't have a pair of testicles and you probably shouldn't own Tesla stock. Just saying. And if there are any beta males attempting to get laid in the comments by explaining how I shouldn't be using courage and testicles interchangeably, 1, your comment won't get you laid, and 2, I stand by my comments.
That being said, he also believes in making money, and that's why he hired an expert in advertising, which would be Linda. And so I don't think it's not that he cares, it's that he does care so much about his strong viewpoints about free speech.
Sure, but I mean, look, in fair, I don't think David missed the point at all. And that's all fine and good, what you say and what Musk himself suggests, but he still is the CEO of a publicly traded company in which you are an investor and have to decide whether that is bothersome to you, whether you think it's a distraction to you or to the share price, to the direction of the company, or frankly, anything else.
This is a fair point. As a Tesla shareholder, does Elon Musk having testicles and regularly employing them bother you? Does it bother you that he's trustworthy? Does it bother you that, unlike just about every other CEO on the planet who can't be trusted because they won't share certain opinions on certain topics because they know that there might be negative consequences, therefore they're being dishonest at best and deceptive at worst? Does it bother you that Elon Musk is extremely trustworthy, has integrity and honor, and will share his thoughts, opinions, and ideas freely? Consequences be damned. Does it bother you that this guy has nuts and uses them and therefore can be trusted? It's a good question to ask. It may bother some people, especially those who don't have testicles of their own. Refer to my earlier comments about maybe not owning Tesla stock, if that's you. Of course, as somebody who's a total bitch and never uses his testicles and never does things that would offend anyone, never shares any opinions that would offend anyone, I totally cannot relate to why Elon Musk would do this. I just don't understand. Can't he just shut up and stop having opinions? Doesn't he understand that people get mad and butthurt and it's not in his financial interest? He's so silly.
I don't think that in aggregate, Tesla shareholders were or have been concerned by him expressing his opinion. I think what happened last year is when, he says maybe in jest, I'm going to buy Twitter, and then he actually has to buy Twitter. And then the issue is like, what's going to happen? Is this going to be a drawn out court case? How much Tesla shares is he going to have to sell? And that is really why you saw such a massive decline. But the stock bottomed out at 110, got as high as 200, and then now has settled in. And so I think he's proven to everyone he can walk and chew gum at the same time. He's running about 5 different companies, and he has a great team underneath him. So I don't think that in aggregate, Tesla shareholders would say him tweeting is a distraction to what he's been able to just do globally across all these different companies that he's running.
If I didn't know any better, I might suggest that this woman has a brain and is using it, and also realizes that despite some people who live in echo chambers and little bubbles where they think everyone thinks the same way that they do, by the way, in many of these echo chambers, everyone actually does think the same way. So the fact that they think that everyone thinks the same way, from their point of view in their little bubble, it's true. The problem is there's no perspective. They don't understand that they're in a tiny little bubble, not the real world. I think the point she makes is quite valid. The majority of Tesla shareholders who don't live in little bubbles where everyone thinks exactly the same couldn't give a fuck what Elon is saying or thinking or doing, as long as Tesla continues to execute, which Tesla continues to do.
And you don't care, because, I think we can honestly say, CEOs expressing political beliefs for example, I'm not sure has ever been as under fire as it appears to be now in some corners of the political space, and whether it's a couple corners, some on the left and some on the right. So do you not have an issue with anything that the CEO of a company that you invest in ostensibly could tweet about?
Now, they say there's no such thing as a dumb question, but I'm going to disagree. That's a pretty dumb question. Obviously, there's things like this is just a hypothetical scenario. Obviously, you could conjure up a scenario, something that somebody tweets about that would bother you. That's a ridiculous question. There's only one way to answer this question, yes, but it's a little bit dishonest and disingenuous. The real question is, would you like a CEO who's willing to share his or her thoughts, opinions, and ideas, or would you like a CEO who's a little fucking bitch? That's the real question.
Well, of course, there's a moral high ground and a way you want certain CEOs to act. But Elon is not just a CEO. He created these companies, right? So, he took Tesla, which was not doing well back in the early 2000s, took over and has made it into probably one of the most important companies in the world. And so I think you have to separate a founder CEO that's so rare, like Elon, which is like a Steve Jobs, which is like a Thomas Edison, from just some person that's sitting as a CEO that is not the founder of a company. But once again, Elon is a lightning rod. He is a brilliant, opinionated person that just speaks his mind. And so clearly that will get into the crosshairs of many people. But to me, in general, I think he's an important person, and it's a very important company that we have in America. And so I'm, very pro Tesla, very pro Elon in terms of what he's been able to accomplish in such a short amount of time across so many different important companies.
Brilliantly put. Could not agree more. So let's recap. 1, Elon has balls and will continue to use them. And if you don't like it, too fucking bad. And 2, I get a funny feeling that ARK Invest and Tasha Keeney really want the world to understand the autonomous opportunity that Tesla is on the cusp of unlocking. The multi-deca trillion-dollar opportunity. One more time. Multi-deca trillion-dollar opportunity. I'm sure it's nothing. Trolling aside, I really do want to make sure people are getting the point here. If you don't believe Tesla's on the cusp of solving autonomy, if you don't believe they have an unassailable lead, if you don't see that they have a generalized solution and no one else on Earth does, I recommend taking the time to try to understand these things. Doesn't mean you'll be able to, but it's worth trying. If you're somebody who's dismissive, that's never going to happen, or it's not, Waymo will get there, Chris. If that's you, try to understand the opportunity. You may not agree, that's okay, but don't dismiss it without really having thought through things at a deep level. I know there's people thinking, come on, man, that's hard work. Hard work, I don't want to think that much. It hurts too much to think. I don't like using my brain. I understand where you're coming from, but may I suggest AG1? Athletic Greens AG1 has given me a massive, meaningful boost in energy, allowing me to do a lot more every day, including using my brain more and using my body more. I highly recommend you guys and girls check it out. Athletic Greens AG1 is an excellent way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's got 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus prebiotics and probiotics and digestive enzymes and adaptogens to help you deal with stress. Plus, if you click the link in the pinned comment or head to athleticgreens.com/SMR, you can get yourself a 1-year free supply of vitamin D3 and K2. But don't take my word for it. Here's what some of you guys and girls have to say. AG1 has changed my life. I was, as you described, treating myself like a circus, ate like trash, rarely exercised, used alcohol as a stress crutch, cannabis also. AG1 is what gave me the kick in the ass, got me back to the gym, motivated me to do more for myself, family, my business, etc. Keep doing what you do. Now, I know there's some skeptics, the same kind of people who think Elon Musk is a fraud, reading this going, what do you thought? There's no way that's possible, bro. It must be a placebo effect. Believe it or not, this is a recurring theme. If you give your body everything it needs to feel and perform its best, including having a lot more energy, you'll need ways to use that energy. For me personally, that includes more exercise, moving my body more social activity, and more cognitively demanding tasks, including producing a ton of exclusive content over on Twitter and on Patreon, plus my daily YouTube uploads. The proof's in the pudding. On to another testimonial from a viewer of this channel. SMR, you asked me to provide feedback on AG1. Here it is. It has helped with mental acuity, stamina, and intestinal waste management. Can't read between the lines. Certainly helps with regularity and digestion. That's what the digestive enzymes are for. It has also dramatically reduced my cravings for sugar. You guys need to stop eating sugar. It's fucking poison. I'm 50, 5'9", and overweight, aka a fat motherfucker. I think that's a technical term for overweight, isn't it? Is it fat motherfucker or obese? I can't remember. I average 100 hours a week in the West Texas oil fields as a safety supervisor. Jesus Christ, dude. No wonder you're struggling to keep your weight under control. 100 hours a week. Brutal. It has helped me lose weight. It is not an appetite suppressant. It can help fat people suppress cravings, and motivation to be healthier is critical for changing your diet. Love you, brother. Again, this is a great point and something people really don't seem to grasp. If you have more energy, everything becomes easier. It's like turning on easy mode for life. A few years ago, before I was taking AG1, my health was trash. I was struggling to get through the day, had afternoon fatigue. The last thing I wanted to do was either use my brain or move my body. Didn't have the energy. Now, my biggest struggle every day is figuring out ways to use that energy. I'm exercising way more, doing a lot more with my friends and family, and of course, my work output has increased substantially. And you can fact check me. Check out the average length of my videos I was posting to YouTube 3 years ago. Need I say more? And one final testimonial. Love this one. Okay, here's the deal for me with this AG1 shit. I'm 41 years old and not the type to eat, drink, smoke, or sleep healthy, so I was skeptical. That being said, here's what I experienced. Day 1, meh. Day 2, afternoon fatigue was about 45 minutes late. Day 3, 0 afternoon fatigue. Day 4, 0 afternoon fatigue plus extra energy. Day 5, again, 0 afternoon fatigue plus energy, wondering, what the fuck, really? See, this is the thing, right? The results for many people are just almost too good to be true. This is the same experience I had. My afternoon fatigue just vanished out of nowhere. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I not tired in the afternoons anymore? Surely, it's not that AG1 is it? Turns out it was. Day 6 and 7, same thing. Day 8, same thing. Plus, I had the want to get things done around the house that I normally would slack off and not get done. Again, the point, extra energy, you'll need to use it, you'll find ways to use it. Day 9, 10, and 11, and today is day 12. I fucking love it. So however you managed to get me to buy it, I'm so glad you did. Thank you so much, SMR. It really changed me so far. Guys, this shit really works. Just try it. By the way, this is the reason I continue to relentlessly promote AG1. A lot of people get real fucking mad in the comments. Oh my God, Snake Oil Salmon's sold out. Oh my God, he's a scammer. This is fraud. But constantly, I'm pretty sure everyone making these comments is also currently short Tesla stock. I'm not particularly concerned about people having a negative perception, those folks suffering from small brain syndrome, still living in my bum's basement syndrome, etc., writing mean comments, claiming AG1's a scam or it doesn't work. I mean, bro, when I get feedback like this is what keeps me going. And remember, there is a 90-day money-back guarantee. There's nothing to lose here. Just try this stuff for a month, and if you don't get these results, get your money back. See, it's a literal no-brainer. It's an IQ test at this point in time. Testimonial after testimonial after testimonial like this. Get your money back if it doesn't work. Just try it for a month, and if it doesn't work, get your money back. Today's the day. It's finally time. Be like this guy who was a massive skeptic, but finally, after 1,000 promotions in a row, caved in, tried AG1, and has results like this. Head to athleticgreens.com/SMR or click the link in the pinned comment, and please, let me know how you're feeling in a few weeks' time. Now, if you'll excuse me, time to put my extra energy to good use. I'll be recording some more exclusive content for Patreon and my Twitter subscribers. So click the links in the pinned comment. See you over on Twitter and or Patreon. And don't forget to grab your AG1. Love ya.